We are going to start down in a comfortable down position, whether that's a child's pose or a seated or a kneeling position, just whatever works for you while you're down somewhere where the ground can support you. Even if that's lying down, that's fine too. We're not going to be here for too long. Okay, so just finding a position that's feeling good for your body at this moment. So once you have that time to settle in, you might like to close the eyes down, whatever position you're in. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It can be down, like I said, in a child's pose. It could be upright in a seated position. Just anything that is working for your body right now. Allowing the eyes to close down. And just starting to tap into this transitioning process and what's required for you to transition to come into your practice, especially if you have had things that you've been doing before this practice and you've really found that you've maybe kind of tried to fit this in. Maybe there's a bit of a rush coming in, even if there wasn't. It's quite common for our minds to be occupied on things that we have done prior to being on our mat. So just acknowledging the process and the journey right from the beginning of your practice, where you're feeling perhaps a little bit distracted, just acknowledging that. And as each moment passes by, as each breath comes in and goes out, there is one more step closer towards being present, towards feeling a bit more clear, and creating that union within your yoga practice. Wherever you're at, feel your shoulders relax and soften down. Notice the toes and the fingers relaxing. And noticing the breath, the rhythm of the breath, the sound, and perhaps the duration of the breath. Breathing, feeling, and just again starting to really unite various parts of yourself in this process of arriving on your mat for your practice. Notice the muscles through the face and soften specifically into the lips, the mouth, the tongue, the jaw. You might even open and close the mouth a couple of times to release some of that tension. And just staying here for a few more breaths. Trying to anchor your attention and anchor your energy in each moment. And anchor your energy specifically in the next hour for this entire practice. Doesn't mean that we won't have a wandering mind or fluctuations within the thoughts. But if we can have awareness, then we start to build up our ability to keep our focus consistent for longer and longer periods of time. Maybe finishing with a few sighs or exhales by the mouth. And whatever position you are in, we're just going to slowly make our way onto the bum. So however you like to get there. If you're already there, that's great. And we're just going to be coming into a feet flat position with the knees bent up. And we're just going to draw the arms in between the legs and allow the head to relax down. Maybe you give it a bit of a sway from side to side, feeling the back of the neck lengthen. Or perhaps you find one spot where you just want to hang and you just want to continue to go deeper into that spot rather than exploring movement. The choice is yours. The feet can be nice and wide. The knees can be as bent or as straight as you like. This also will start to give you a little bit of lengthening into the spine, specifically the lower back. So you can have a lot of support with the arms straight and just moving the head. Or you can choose to walk those hands really far forward or even bend the elbows down, just depending on what your body is wanting to do and where you feel like you're receiving the most benefit. So creating that length through the spine, specifically into the either end of the spine, the neck to the crown of the head, and down through the lower back to the tail. And then if you are moving, just find your way back into the center. Pause for a moment. And then we're going to slowly uncurl, taking your time to gradually lift your chin all the way up. Let's take the legs out. Now it's okay if the knees are bent, that's fine. We're not looking to really create a deep, deep extension through the backs of the legs, but if the legs straighten, that's great too. We're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna drop the head down. We're not looking to lengthen the spine or be really erect in this way, but we kind of just wanna let it slump a bit. I like to flex my toes slightly. You can keep them flexed or you can let them soften. And again, maybe there's a bit of movement. Maybe there's just that continuous energy or drop in the one direction. Feeling where the length is occurring for you and noticing areas of liberation as well as areas of tension. And noticing if you might be able to use your breath to draw some awareness and therefore release those areas that might be tense. Few more breaths like this. Again, you're more than welcome to drop on the elbows if the body is allowing that. And we'll eventually find ourselves back into the center. And we'll go nice and slow to uncurl, to come all the way up. Okay, and from here, we're gonna bend the right leg. So the right knee is bent. Now you might like to have a connection between the inner thigh of the left leg and between the sole of the right foot, or you might prefer that to be open. You can also put a block or something underneath this right knee if you need that extra support. And we're just gonna come into some little twists through the body. So just start to twist, doesn't matter which side you go to first, one side over to the other. You can use the hands, or you can choose to keep the hands lifted away from the ground. If you want to use the hands, perhaps you place one hand on the opposite leg. And notice what's twisting you. If you're relying solely on the hands to twist you, then this will take away from the strength that you might be able to start to awaken in your abdomen and through your trunk. And notice if you're using your head. Is your head getting left behind in the twist, or do you want to use your eyes to lead the way? Just a few more like this. Again, if this left knee is bent, that's totally fine. And then we're going to come and face towards the center. Now again, this knee can stay bent, or you can work to straighten it, or it might be straight all the way. We're going to twist over towards the right, taking that right hand and the left knee to connect and the thigh, and then we're going to sweep the right arm over, and then you're going to bend the elbow, and then we'll sweep it down, and we'll do that a few more times. Inhale, reach up and sweep as you go long and lengthen, and exhale, reach it down. If you're not able to grab that knee, it's okay. You can just grab up the thigh, inhale up, wherever you feel like that's working, and whatever you want to do with your head. Exhale down, let's take one more. Inhale, reaching up, getting that nice stretch through the side body, and exhale, coming down. And we're going to turn the body forward and allow the hands to walk forward. Now with this position, we are looking for a little bit more of a lift. So again, you might have this knee bent, you might have this knee off the mat, that's okay. Still, we're trying to create length. Maybe the hands need to come in closer to lift the spine, and then you hinge forward. So the difference between this and what we did in the beginning, where we were slumped, is the shape of the spine. And the shape of the spine is really going to then dictate where you're feeling the stretch in the body. So no longer will we be focusing on the low back. Now we're focusing a little bit lower down. As we lift the spine tall, we're starting to tilt the pelvis. You might feel it through the hamstring of the left leg a bit more, or even through the groin of the left leg, just depending on your body. There might be other areas where you feel this as well. We've got about 5 more breaths, so feel free to move, either extending further forward. And no matter how far you go forward, there's always going to be this reminder and this continuous lengthening upward in the spine. Tall, long spine, even if you're coming down onto your elbows. And again, you can engage through the left leg by flexing the left toes back. And then we'll slowly come all the way up through center. And we'll swap legs. So bringing the right leg out, bending the left leg in. Again, you can have a gap. You can have them connected. Right knee bent, something underneath the left knee. Anything goes. And again, we'll just twist. One side over to the other. Now feel free to use your arms in any way that works for you. You can play around with how the arms might help you with the twist in conjunction with the gaze, moving the head. Perhaps you like to hook a hand on the outer leg as you move one side to the other. Just keep going like this, a few more twists. So it's subtle, but you might start to notice that there's heat building in the body because we're using the abdomen here. Whereas if we were just kind of slumping and moving from side to side, we wouldn't really be using the abdomen as much. Good, and then we'll pause and face in towards the center. We'll take the right hand and bring it towards the outside of the left leg. You can flex those right toes. Again, you can grab up high towards the knee. The choice is yours. Left arm goes up as you sweep, and the elbow bends. It's almost like you're going to tap your thigh or your toes and then reach it down. The head can go in any direction again. So what we're trying to do is create more space through the left side ribs and keep going. So as you come into this repetitive movement, each time it's almost like you're just opening the door a little bit further. There's more space being created between the top of the left hip, few more, and the bottom of the left ribs. Let's take one more. You might get a few extra in if you're going fast. Okay, and good. Coming all the way up. And then from here, turning towards the center, and then allowing the hands to come forward. So the spine again is tall, nice and lifted. The toes are flexed. And oftentimes when we explore more of our depth, then we're really forced to be much more in tune with our form. And typically your depth is only relative to the form or the structure that you have in the body. So we're not looking to just completely allow everything to kind of fall by the wayside so we can get down. We're being a bit more energetic through the length of the spine. So again, you might start to feel more in the back of the right leg, maybe into the inner thigh. Long spine. Maybe the hands explore a little bit more space coming forward. Keep the neck and the jaw soft and relaxed, and the shoulders as well. Sometimes when we try to really be emphasizing the structure of our pose, we can over tense a lot of the muscles. So we're still looking for freedom in the body as we create length simultaneously. So we're going to be working a lot on hamstrings and inner thighs. Last breath or two here. And then we'll inhale and come all the way up. And then we'll allow the left leg to stretch out. Just give them a little bit of a bounce here. You can flex and point the toes, even roll the ankles around a few times in different directions, just to warm up the feet and the joints through the feet, the toes and the ankles. Okay, good. We're gonna bring that right leg in again. So again, you can have some gap or you can have that connection between the two. And we'll just take one or two twists. This time I want you to use your hands a little bit more. So we'll twist, doesn't matter which side you go to first, but use the hand to give you a little bit of extra push. Maybe just two to each side. And we'll finish over to the right with the left hand on the right leg. Inhale, the right arm goes up, two like this, like we've already done. And the arm sweeps down. Let's go again. Inhale, reaching it up. Now this time we're gonna hold. So as you hold here, feel free to hook your palm of the right hand on the back of the head and lift the head a little bit if you wish. And that will give you a bit of a different sensation. Alternatively, you can allow the head to drop down to the left. But as you do this, keep your right sitting bone anchored down. Open through the side of the right body. And again, the head and the elbow can move to give you a different sensation. And then we're gonna come out of it. So inhale, lifting all the way up. And from here, your right hand is gonna plant down. Lean on your right hand, push up onto your right knee, and sweep and circle your left arm. And as the left arm comes forward, you're gonna sit down again. So we'll do that 2 more times. So push up as you sweep. Feel the hips push as the arm circles around, then you can lower down again. And last time, push up, reach and circle the arm around. The head can go where you need to. Lower the hips all the way down. Let's swap sides. Bringing the left knee bent and the right leg straight, and just taking your twists from one side to the other. So you can use your hands in any way that you want, but just notice how maybe there's a little bit more of a active pushing energy. These hands, they act as an external force. We're gonna finish twisting over to the left knee. So the right hand is on the left knee, 2 sweeps with the left arm up and over. And coming down. And last one, we'll hold up and over. And coming down. Again, hand can hook on the back of the head if you want. You don't have to. You might like to continue to reach those fingers down, or you can open up. This is gonna get a little bit more into the armpit. Maybe you work into a little bit of a sequence here, or some continuous movement throughout the body. So you're just looking to feel into where the opening is the best for you. What position? What angle? Okay, good. Let's slowly come all the way up, lowering the left hand down. Push up onto the left knee, sweep the right arm, big circle, circle. As the arm comes forward, that's when you're gonna lower down again. 2 more times like that. Pushing up as you reach, sweep and circle, and then lowering down. Last one. Push up, sweep it around, big circle, nice opening for the shoulder, and lower all the way down. Let's take both legs out. Again, we'll give them a little bit of a bounce. This time, if you wish, maybe dropping one knee into the center, or both knees can go completely to one side, just allowing a bit of reprieve and sort of alternate rotation. We've done lots of external, so now we can reprieve by doing some of this internal work. Not for long. We've got one final sequence that we're going to go into. So again, let's open up the legs and bend the right knee in. We're just going to take a twist one side to the other. We're going to finish on the right side. So maybe we go left first, looking with the eyes, going right next, looking with the eyes, hook the left hand, right arm goes up and over for 3. Whatever you want to do for 2. You can even stretch those fingers arm long for 1. Inhale, coming all the way up. Plant your hand down, push up, reach, and sweep. We're going to stay up here and sweep the arm around 3 circles. So stay up, sweeping the arm, big circles. Again, sweep, and then all the way down with the hips. Okay, last side. Left knee bends, right leg goes straight. Let's twist to the right, looking over. Twist to the left, hook the right hand. The left arm can come up. 3, reaching long. 2, find the right angle for you. And 1. Let that hand drop down to the mat. Push up onto your left knee, stay up, circle the arm. 1 big circle. And we'll do it 2 more times. 2 circle. And again, 3 circle. And we'll lower all the way down. From here, we're going to come onto the knees, kneeling position. First time that we've put weight on both of the hands simultaneously. So take a moment to just sort of paw onto the ground and feel into the spreading of the fingers. Perhaps you like to turn the palms so that you create a bit of opening through the insides of the wrists. Perhaps you like to hook them under and paw that way. Just a few breaths like this. Just to let the wrists warm up a bit more, open up. Okay, good. Let's plant the hands, palms down. We're gonna take the left leg out to the left side and lower the sole of the foot down towards the mat. Your toes are pointing to whatever's in front of you, and I want you to really push down through your hands, palms. Pushing down through the palms so that the spine rounds. And we're gonna cat-cow in this position with the leg out. So let's go. Inhale, belly is long, and the eyes will lift as you look up. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck your chin into your chest, push down through your palms. Again, inhale, belly, release, long, eyes lift. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. 1 more. Belly is long as you breathe in, gripping the fingertips down into the mat, and exhale, round the spine. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Once your lungs are empty, then assume a neutral position with your spine. You're going to shift your weight over to your right knee enough that you can lift your left leg off the mat. And then tap it down. We've got 4 more like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Don't worry how high it lifts. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. One more, we're gonna hold, lift. 3, 2, 1. We'll lower the foot down. From here, push up onto the right knee. Left hand slides down the leg, right arm reaches over. Good, just like we did when we were on the ground. And then the hand comes down. Doing it again. Inhale, sweep it over. And then let it come down. One more, we'll find a spot to stay. Reach and sweep it. Now maybe the arm stays straight. Maybe you bend the elbow, turn the palm. Maybe you hook the back of the head. Any of these things are gonna be fine. Maybe you wanna change the angle of the head. Notice if your butt is sticking out behind you. Try to be a little bit more on top of your right knee and just slightly twisting through your left shoulder forward. Good. Inhale, we're gonna come all the way up. From here, you're gonna lower your right hand down, shift your weight so that your left leg lifts up. Taking the left arm up nice and high, really flex the toes, holding here. So you wanna feel that this glute is working for you so that it begins to create opening into the inner thigh. Reaching high, flex the toes towards the shin. Good, and then from here, lower the foot. Coming up, we're gonna drop down to the elbows and slide this foot out to come into a little bit of forward, backward motion. So you can shift it forward, shift it back. Shifting, forward and back. You can choose to stay in one spot if that's your preference, but you wanna feel how the shifting of the weight can change where you feel this in the left inner thigh. Few more breaths like this. Okay, good. And we're gonna come back up onto the hands, slide that left leg in. We're gonna lift it up. We're gonna take it all the way back, lower the toes to the back of the mat and squeeze your right knee to your forehead for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee down, and then from here, we'll swap sides. So right away, we're taking the right leg out, sole of the foot down. So the outer edge of the foot is hugging down, the instep is lifted up here. Let's take some cat-cow. Inhale, belly is long, eyes lift. Exhale, round the spine. Push down through the palms and tuck your chin. Inhale, belly long. Lifting the gaze, looking up. Exhale, empty out your lungs and push. Push down through the palms as you scoop your pubic bone forward. Last one, inhale. Tail lifts, eyes reach. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck your chin and really empty out your lungs. And then we'll come into neutral spine. Shift your weight over to your left leg enough to lift. 4, lower down. 3, lower down. 2, push down through palms, tap. 1, we'll hold. 3, 2, 1. Lower the foot down. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Right hand slides down the thigh, left arm sweep over. Whatever style or expression comes into your body. 2 more like that. Reach it up and over. Whatever you want to do with the head to feel into length. And the last one, we'll find some stillness. Up and over. Feeling that length in the body. Wherever you want to place the head, the hand. Notice if your tail, especially on the left side, is sticking back. Try to be forward slightly on top of your left knee rather than behind of your left knee. Okay, inhale, come up. Let's lower the left hand all the way down. You're going to take the weight off the right leg. Right arm lifts up and flex the toes. Now you can check it out along the side of the body and notice if maybe the leg is a little bit forwards or backwards in comparison to where you thought it was. In your mind's eye, keep kicking the heel. You can look up, reach, 3, 2, 1. Lower the foot. Inhale, lifting all the way up, and then we'll drop down onto the elbows. You can slide that foot out to the side as much as you want, and we'll shift a little bit forwards, a little bit back. Now be mindful again that the outer edge of your right foot is hugging into the ground, and the instep, the arch of your foot, well, it stays an instep. It's not flattening down. And this will also target the outer portion of the lower half of your leg. Last few breaths. Okay, and we'll push back up onto the hands, slide yourself in, lift the leg up, take it all the way back, feel the length, lower the toes, push down, squeeze your knee to your forehead, 3, push down, 2. From here, you're gonna go to down dog 1. So step the feet to the back of the mat, lifting the tail, go for a bit of a walk. Allowing the hips to move, the backs of the legs to feel spacious, and any other areas in the body that feel a little bit kinked, restricted, or sticky, just moving into those areas as you need to. And then we'll see if you can find a couple breaths of stillness in the body. Feel your fingers nice and spread, the fingertips gripping down, and specifically the points between the thumb and index finger are anchored. Bounding your energy down through your hands to feel that rebound up through your tail, and then rotating your armpits in gently towards one another while still pushing down through your hands. 2 breaths. Okay, good. You're gonna breathe in to look forward towards the top of the mat. And you're gonna step the right foot towards the outside of the right hand. And we're just gonna take a few little pulses here. Just feeling into the stretch through the hip flexor of the left leg, the front of the hip. And perhaps there's some stretch and some opening into the right hamstring and the right hip as well. We're going to turn to face your left. So you're turning all the way to your left. You want your toes and your knee to be more or less in alignment. If anything, toes will be more in, knee will be a little bit more out, rather than toes out and knee in, okay? And you're going to shift your weight, walking your hands to sit, and we're going to come back up again, walking the hands in the center. Let's do it again. Walk the hands over to sit, and then push yourself up to flatten the left toes. Walk the hands over. So as I'm doing this, my left foot, toes are coming up. Coming through center, one more like that. Sitting down. Now it's okay if you don't get so low, we're not gonna stay here yet. Lifting up. Let's turn towards the front. Plant down through your hands, palms, step back, downward facing dog. And right away, let's go into the left side. So the left foot comes towards the right pinky, okay? Then from here, a few little bounces in the body. You might prefer to be on the fingertips, just noticing where the body is feeling open and where things are feeling perhaps a little bit stuck, and what angles you'd like to work on to address those things. So staying exactly where you are, then we'll turn to your right. So turning to your right. So in this position, right foot is flat, left foot is flat. Then you're gonna walk your hands over to your left, and your right toes will point towards the ceiling. Then you come through center and your right foot goes flat. Walk your hands to your left, right toes go up. Lifting up, walk the hands through center. 2 more. Walk the hands over to the left as the toes go up. And then hands through center as the foot goes flat. This is the last one. Walk your hands, toe goes up, and then lift the hips. Flatten the foot, turn to the top of the mat again. Plant your hands down, lean your weight forward to step back, downward facing dog. Let's go right away to the right side. Right foot comes towards the right pinky finger. Just 1 or 2 bounces here. From this position, you're going to turn yourself, just like we did in the first set, towards the left. Okay? So turning towards the left. We'll take 2 movements. So your hands are in the center, and then we'll move over towards the right as the left toes point up. Drop the foot, walk through center. Again, walk the hands. Now here we're going to stay. Now you can use the support of the hands as much as you need to. If you're not able to come down that low, then lean forward. That's totally fine. Then you can just take a bit of weight down or take a bit of weight forward. If your hips can come down and your buttocks comes to your heel, it's a little bit more of a resting position for sure. So for those of you that are still up a bit, it's going to be a bit harder, a bit more intense. Take 2 more breaths. But again, you can just gradually ease your way into this down position. Okay, let's lean forward, push up, turn yourself towards the top of the mat. And from here, we're going to come into a big stretch through the front leg. So the front foot is going to walk into the center. Drop your back heel down and slightly in. And check that your heels are not crossed. Open them a little bit so that you feel your hips can actually rotate with some room, okay? So this is quite a wide step. Now, some of you might have the elbow on the knee, the hand on the knee. You might have some blocks of support, hands on the ankle, the shin, the foot, or down, framing the foot. And long spine, back of the neck, long. So we're looking to create extension, lengthen, space, equally through both the front of the spine and the back of the spine. There can be a little bend in the front knee. Now, if you'd like to fold more forward, it's because you hinge. It's not that we're rounding in the spine. We're hinging, and the tail goes a bit more back. Couple more breaths. Keep the outer edge of your back foot hugging down and the instep of your back foot lifted up. Okay, good. We're going to walk both hands on the inside of the front foot. Walk the foot to the outside, lean forward, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Right away, we'll go to the other side. Left foot steps towards the left pinky finger. 1 or 2 bounces here if you need. And then we'll turn to the right. We'll just do 2. So we'll be in the center to start, and then we'll shift. Walk the hands over to the left. As the toes point up on the right foot, the heel might lift of the left foot. Then both feet go flat as you walk through center. The more you lean your weight forward, the less pressure it is on the legs. So if you're looking to minimize that, then you can keep the weight forward. I think we did a bit one too many, but we'll stay down now. Staying down in this position. Again, you can lean as much weight forward as you need to. Some of you might be able to drop down, but again, this position is typically a lot more passive than something here. So you can decide what you're looking for in your body. You can still get quite a good stretch by doing this way. Breathe here. Just take note as we finish up this last one. If your back leg, which in this case is your right leg, if it's quite far back, typically if we move it a little bit further forward, it can help us to access the pose and access our flexibility a little bit better if you're struggling with that, okay? So we're gonna push down through the hands, lean forward, lift up, come through center, and then turn again towards the top of the mat. Walking your left foot into the center, but not crisscrossing your heels. Drop the back heel down. Check that the instep of the back right foot is lifted, and then work to straighten into this front leg. Now, when I say straighten, I don't mean push it back. I mean pull the thigh muscle up so that it encourages everything to align in a straight position. Now, whether it gets there or not is irrelevant, but we know the action is there guiding it. Again, hands can be onto the knee, elbow, shin, foot, blocks, or the floor. Think of shifting your body weight just a little bit towards your front foot. So from the side, rather than having this back hip open, we want to imagine we have headlights on both of the hips, and they're both evenly pointing down, perhaps a little bit forward, and the spine is long. The back of the neck is long and spacious. Maybe there's a little bend or a big bend in the front knee. If you're so gung-ho on getting low down with the body, but the knee is incredibly bent, I would sacrifice that a little bit, lift a bit higher to engage the muscle to get the legs slightly straighter, and then stay a bit more upright. 3, breathing here. 2, and 1. All right, let's bend the front knee. Walk the left foot out to the left, plant the hands, lean forward, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe. We'll take a few breaths of stillness. If you need to do any movement before you enter stillness, that's fine. Long neck, again, pushing down through palms, rebounding the energy through your tail, wrapping the armpits to face closer towards one another. All right, good. We're gonna take the right foot and again, step it towards the outside of the right pinky finger. Okay, from here, we'll drop the back heel down and then just lift up off the palms to align your heels. This time we do want to align the heels here. The outer edge of the back foot is hugging into the mat. The instep is lifting up, and we've got both arms on the inside of the leg. As you breathe in, you're gonna reach the arms forward, sweep up. Exhale, arms down again on the inside of the leg. 2 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, drop it down. Last one, we'll hold on the up. Inhale, up. And exhale, cactus. Holding here. Breathe into the body. See if you might sit a little bit lower, lifting your chest. Good, let's release the arms high. Straighten into the front leg, just give it a little bit of a break. And turn to your left side. So you have the heels in one line, reaching the arms all the way out, lift the chin and come down. All the way down, letting the hands lower in front of you. We're gonna use the hands to draw the body in between the legs like a little sit-up. 5 pulses like that. Then inhale, let it release. Maybe you lift to your fingertips. Exhale, hands, palms plant. Draw the body down like a little sit-up. You can even look into your belly. Inhale, coming up. 3 more. Exhale. Draw the body down, curling and rounding into yourself. Inhale, coming up. Again, exhale, rounding in. Inhale, lifting up. We've got 1 more. Exhale, coming down and through. Inhale, lifting up. Okay, good. Let's turn towards the top of the mat. Plant the hands. Lean forward to step back down dog right away. Left foot to left pinky fingers, stepping that foot forward. Let's drop the back heel down and this time align the heels. Outer edge of the back foot hugging into the mat. The arch of the back foot is lifted. Inhale, sweep, up, up, up. Good, exhale, down, down, down. 2 more, inhale, reaching up. All the way. And exhale, coming down. Last one, we'll hold. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, cactus. Lift the chest. Breathe. Relax your shoulders. Notice if there's any areas of the body that are maybe over tensing. See if you might sit a little bit lower. And then inhale, reach the arms high. Straighten the front leg. Turn to face the right side of your mat. Reach your fingers out long. Exhale, lower all the way down. And then from here again, elbows pointing back as you draw the body through, looking towards yourself. And then inhale up on fingertips. Exhale. Now as you do this, be mindful that your thigh muscles are engaged. So what we do is we use reciprocal inhibition, the contraction of the quadricep muscle to release the tension in the hamstring muscle. 2 more. Drawing yourself through. Inhale, coming up. Doesn't matter how deep it looks. It's about how it feels and what the changes are in the body. Inhale, coming up. Okay, good. Turn to the front of the mat. Plant the palms. Step back. Downward facing dog. See if you can find a few breaths of stillness in the body. Pushing down to lift the tail. And from here, we're going to allow the knees to lower down to the mat. We're going to open up the feet, so the feet on either side, and then you're going to start to sit yourself down. Now you might pause there. So your options are a block or support underneath your buttocks, or open the knees. You can also choose to continue to use a support underneath the buttocks. So we did lots of external rotation, and now we're working on the opposite, this internal rotation. So we're just going to take a few moments to just sit in this position. You can have the knees definitely together, but if that means that the buttocks is not able to connect to the ground, then open your knees wide. Perhaps you can have the buttocks connect to the ground and still have the knees together. We want to have no gaps between the inner heel and the outside of the hip. We're not sitting on the feet, but they're beside, just kind of hugging in. So again, knees can be together, knees can be open, and we're just going to find a little bit of stillness. Now, if you find that you're not able to relax through your torso in this position, then you might, again, need to take the knees wider so you can drop down and or prop yourself up on something so that you can just sort of sit and relax and soften for a few breaths here. Feel free to close the eyes down. And breathe. Relax your shoulders. If for whatever reason you do not have a prop to use, you can always just kneel or completely come out of this position altogether if you need to and it's just not working for you. Last few breaths. On these last few moments here, I want you to drop your chin down, let your upper body round, and just kind of hang down here. Feel free to take the hands forward and come forward, or just stay upright with this slumping energy of the head and the shoulders. And we'll slowly lift the body all the way up, lifting the chin. And however you'd like to come out of this, if you are still in it, we'll just allow the legs to swing around towards the top of the mat. You can give them a little bit of a bounce if you need to. Maybe a bit of rub through the hands can feel nice. Okay, we're gonna take the legs out nice and wide here. So when we take the legs out wide, there's a few different things that we want to pay attention to, but probably one of the main ones is the position of the pelvis. So if you imagine a pot of water and that is your pelvis, try not to tip the water out by rolling back, okay? Typically, we don't really go too far forward. We want to be a little bit more upright and center, and this is where using the hand to pull the flesh of the bum, this helps to rotate so that that container is level again. You can also use the hands on the thighs to rotate the thighs inward if they're kind of sinking out in this position, okay? Feeling length through the backs of the legs, taking as wide between the legs as you need to, and just like we did in the beginning of our practice, we're going to now twist from side to side. So whatever you want to do with your arms, if the knees are bent up, that's fine too. You can also do this on a block or a rolled up towel. Even some of you, you might only need just the back of the mat to prop you up, just a hair. And we're going to pause on the right side. Use the outside of the left hand on the outside of the right leg. Just give you a bit more of a twist. And from here, we're going to turn the left palm up and just hook that into the waist. The right arm comes up and over, two like this, and then up. And one more will stay. Up and over. And you can reach through your bottom arm and reach through your top arm. You can also use that hand if you need to as a support or reposition it in some way. Again, you can hold the back of the head. Now, some of you might feel like you can go down. I know for me, I can, but I have a lot of space underneath my right sitting bone. So again, I'm losing the structure to get what would appear to be is the depth. But really, to achieve more depth, I can just push down through my right sitting bone more. Let's inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, a few more twists. Let's finish on the left side. Hooking the hand, if you want to use a little bit more pressure on the outside of the leg. And then we'll really use that hand to reach the arm up and over. Reach. And then down. And again, we'll stay as you reach. And we'll just lift up a little bit. If you want to turn that hand and hook it in, then you can. Again, find the angles that work for you. Don't worry about how close or far away you are from the leg or the floor. Push down through the left sitting bone. As you inhale, come all the way up. Coming through center, perhaps you need to readjust again, pulling more of the flesh of the bum, rotating a little bit more through the thighs. If you're already there, there's no need to do more. Yeah, sometimes we can overdo it. And you're just going to explore some space in front of you. For the first 30 seconds here, we're going to focus on a really long, tall spine. So if that means you can go down to the elbows without the spine rounding, then you can. Maybe all that means is it's enough for you to just work on sitting tall. And that's okay. Soften into your jaw. Now, if you'd like to continue with this energy of the spine being long and straight, then you can. Otherwise, if you're looking to drop and to round and to hang, then you can come into that. Here for about another 30 seconds. Try to just ever so slightly keep your toes flexed. You might also choose to just very subtly engage your thigh muscles, which again does encourage the backs of the legs to release a bit more. Last few breaths here. And then we'll slowly make our exit. Taking your time to lift yourself up. You can lean back, use the hands underneath the legs to lift them up. And we're just gonna right away lay down on our stomachs. So laying on your stomach. And you wanna really squeeze the legs together. And you can have the forehead down, or you can choose to turn your head to one side or the other for it to be a bit more relaxing. And we're going to bend the knees so the feet are facing up and then let them flop open. Now, when they flop open, try to walk your thighs a little bit closer in towards one another, and then find that position where you can begin to feel softening, to feel this letting go energy. There's going to be a certain degree of activation that's required to hold the legs up. But we're seeing if we can isolate that activity to just that area of the body, and all other areas will be soft. If your head is turned in one direction, just turn it in the opposite direction now. Keep letting the legs widen little by little, not necessarily the thighs coming away from one another, but rather the feet feeling heavier. This is a really good one to do with your shins against the wall. And we'll just allow the legs to relax, to soften. And from where you are, you can roll over onto your back. You can roll onto your side. You can stay on your belly, just to come into a comfortable position, whatever works for you. Letting your eyes close down. Letting your whole body begin to feel the joys of completing your practice, the joys of moving through all different areas of the body. If you would like to stay in a down position and you're really enjoying your time here, then just stay exactly where you are. If you're needing to shift into a different position, or perhaps you would like to finish your practice from a seated position, just take your time to slowly transition to where you feel like you want to be. And once you find yourselves in that position, maybe it's appropriate to place the hands in the lap if you're seated. Maybe if you're on your belly, one hand is on the chest and one hand is on the belly, or if on your back rather. Anything goes, but we're just going to allow this, maybe it's an external bowing of the chin down to the chest. Maybe the position that you're in just is an internal bowing. And this is an acknowledgement of your practice. This is an acknowledgement of you joining in with all parts of yourself and starting to really work on uniting. Even though we might come in with a busy mind, we might come in with lots of things that are on our to-do list or a bit of frazzled energy, the simple act of carving out time for your practice is very therapeutic, very powerful. And then we just add all these amazing bonuses when we move through the practice in various ways. So acknowledging that, appreciating that. Thank you so much for joining in and coming to this practice with me today. I will see you soon. Thank you so much.